I want to talk about extrasensory perception, my dreams, my signals, and quick thoughts and premonitions. I want to talk about my first experience with it. Back in the 80s, I had noticed that I kept seeing this number, and I didn't know why I was seeing it, but I saw it awfully a lot, and come to find out that number was the day of someone who I knew had passed away, and let me say that first. The other thing was that when I was younger, a little girl, I used to have a whole lot of dreams, a whole lot. I mean, a lot of them. And then I think at the time, at some point, I had started using drugs, and to me that had stopped the dream signals and premonitions for me, because after I had stopped using that, they came back, all those dreams, and then it came signals, and then it came premonitions, and I'm gonna get ready to talk about a lot of them, and so fast forward to 2010. Tina Marie, 2009. I remember I was moving into this apartment, and I just noticed that there were two birds on the porch, and I was like, "Was this? Why are they there?" But I always knew that certain type of birds meant death, and so I kept staring at it because I was unpacking in the apartment, and I just kept staring at it to see like what was they going to do, and so what happened was one had flew away and one stayed like that. And I was like, okay, now here is where I started to say, okay, something isn't right. I know that birds meant death, and that I knew that my brother had just passed. I just knew that. I knew that he had just passed that same week. Back in August of 2008. And this is the weekend, and I'm seeing, so the one flew away and one stayed. So I quite naturally thought that someone else was going to pass away, because I knew that my brother had just passed, and I was like, is it someone else that's going to pass away? Is it someone else? And so I filed it in my memory. I filed it. I just filed it. And that was August of 2008. By February of 2009, here is where my brother passed away. I mean, my nephew passed away, and because I had knew that other bird, I knew that someone was going to pass, and it was going to be a male. I knew it, So when he had passed in February of the following year, 2009, it took me back to the last time I seen him. The last time I seen him probably was in either the early 2000s or the late 90s, very late 90s. And when I seen him, he asked me how I was doing and everything, and he gave me 5 $2 bills like that, and I was like, "Where'd you get these?" You know, and he was like, "Here, just take these," you know, like that. And what I realized is that the $2 bills, the twos represented a person, because after he passed, I realized that the 5 twos, he was one, and the reason I say he was one is because the 2 represented February, and because that's the second month, and he passed in February, right? And then, and that was in 2009. 3 years later, or should I say 2 years later, I get this signal of Whitney Houston, and it said, it was a written signal in my mind's eye. I see it written in my mind's eye. I see it written. It said Whitney Houston dies, just like that. And I was like, I didn't believe it, because that's the first time I seen it like that, and I didn't believe it, and I rejected that, and it came back, and I rejected that, and it came back, and by the 4th or 5th time, I said, hey, wait a minute, there must be something to this. So that was like, okay, that was in 2011. That was in 2011. That was either August, September, or October of 2011 that I got that written signal of Whitney Houston dies. Now, at this point, I'm thinking that she's getting herself together because of public news that, you know, she was going in rehab and this, that, and the other, and all this sort of stuff. So I was like, okay, you know, but I didn't really know whether to believe the written signal or not, and so I just filed it. I just filed it in the back of my head and said, okay, you know, I'll wait and see. I'll just wait and see. The following year in February, which is the second month, Whitney Houston dies. Now here is the second 2. Here's the second 2, because he gave me 5 $2 bills. The 5 $2 bills represent a person. So here is, the nephew was one of them. The one that gave me the 5 twos, he was one in 2009. And 3 years later, Whitney Houston dies in February, which is the second month, the second 2. Okay, after that, the third 2 was a friend. She had passed away, and I had looked to see, you know, so something said, go back and look at the month that she died, and she died February of 2015, which is 3 years later from Whitney Houston. That is the third 2. That is the third 2. Okay, and this is 2015. Now, now there's 2 more 2s left, right? And 3 years later, in 2018, Billy Graham dies. like because I believe that he uses people that are close to me, that I have some interest in. So Billy Graham was one of my favorite preachers, and Janice was my friend. Whitney Houston was one singer who I like her music and stuff, and the other one was my nephew. So getting back to Billy Graham dies, and 3 years later from the friend. So that is the fourth two, because he died in February as well. That was the fourth two. And Bill Cosby's daughter was the fifth two. She died in the same month that Billy Graham died, and she was the fifth two. And the reason I say that with her is that her father was one of my favorite comedians and stuff like that. So I imagine that God uses people that are close to whoever you like, or even use the individual that you like. So she was the fifth two. Okay, now, getting, so, I'm like, I looked at that, because I said that first it was a family member, then it was a singer, then it was a family member of mine, a singer, because I like singing. Then it was a friend, a friend of mine, friends. And then it was the preacher, Billy Graham, and then it was Bill Cosby's daughter. Because Bill Cosby was one of my favorite comedians, but God used his daughter as the five twos. Like that. Let me see. Tina Marie. I noticed that because I sing all types of music. I sing gospel, jazz, blues, R&B, pop, country, blues, you name it. I can sing. So I noticed that that singers, my favorite singers, were starting to die, and so Tina Marie, she was like the first. I just remember back in 2009, I seen Tina Marie's story, and I always liked her music. I think she was a great singer, and I noticed that I had about 3 or 4 dreams of Tina Marie. She was in concert. She was in a room. One day I walked in a room in a dream, and Tina Marie was sitting in a chair, and I walked in the room with someone else, and she was sitting in a chair, and I was like, "Hey, Tina Marie," like that, right? And the friend was like, I'm ready to go. I said, "Hey, wait a minute, Tina Marie, I want to talk to Tina Marie." And she's like, come on. I was like, wait a minute, now, but I said, "Tina Marie, can I get your number?" And she gave me her number, and like that, and then I had a dream that she was in concert. I had a dream that she was in a room with me and my brother, and I sometimes think of Tina Marie, one of the greatest singers, of our time. And so one day I had, aside from the dreams I had of her, one day I just went up on the internet. And I noticed that Tina Marie, it said Tina Marie died. And this was all around the same time that I had the 4 dreams. This was around the same time. I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, I just remember just having these dreams of her. And then all of a sudden, I went up on the internet and it says Tina Marie died. I was saying, hey, what she die of? And stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, and and it started. I was like, oh man, because she was one of my favorite singers. And then after her, then it was little Jimmy Scott. I just remember I seen him a couple times on the internet, and I noticed that he was older. He was already older. Because I remember seeing his story and playing his music and stuff like that. So I seen him on the internet one time, and I noticed that he was in a wheelchair, and I didn't know, because I already knew Jimmy Scott was already older, and I didn't really, I didn't know why he was in a wheelchair, because, but again, he was older, and so then I tried to see was anything wrong with him, because I had got a signal. About and little Jimmy Scott that would really make me look to see was anything wrong with him. I went up on the internet to see it because I got a signal and it says Jimmy Scott dies, and that's what made me look on the internet to see was anything wrong with him. And so I went up there and I didn't see anything. I didn't see him, but I was like, I knew signals. Once the Whitney Houston thing happened, I realized that it was not a lie. So I filed that, and I was like, I'll just wait and see if anything was going to happen with him. I remember it was a time where I said I did not want to go on the internet for a while. And during that time, little Jimmy Scott dies. He dies. And I was like, because I had took some time away from the internet. And so I went, without, for about a week or two. And during that time, he dies. So when I went back to the internet and it said Jimmy Scott dies, I was like, well, when did he do that? And I realized it was the time that I took away from the internet. And I remember singing his songs and everything, and I was like, oh my gosh, So he was another singer that passed. Then it was Natalie Cole. No, let me go back. Nancy Wilson. I remember getting a signal about her, and it said Nancy Wilson dies. And I was like, oh man, I did not want to see that, man. Because she was one of my favorites as well. And that was the signal that I got. It said, Nancy Wilson dies. In my mind's eye, that's what I saw. It was written. I did not want to believe that, or nothing. But I knew that the signal was real. I knew that because Jimmy Scott and Whitney, then I knew it was going to be real with her. And so I just waited. And in 2000, 18, she had passed. I did not want it because I sing her songs too, man. You know, and I did not want to see that. Then I get a signal about Natalie Cole. And she was one of my favorite as well, because listening to her in the beginning of my singing, she was the one that I latched on to help sing and stuff like that. So I did not want to see the signal about her, but I did. And I remember her getting sick, but I didn't know, because I seen the news that she was trying to work on her health and stuff like that. But I knew once I got that signal that she was going to pass, and she did. And 2015, she passed. And man, I did not want it, you know, but unfortunately, you can't be selfish when a person is sick. Then Aretha Franklin. I remember the year that in 2018, and even in 2017, I was hearing the reports that she had some health problems and this, that, and the other, and again I got the signal about Aretha, and she said that she was doing well, but I knew once I got that signal, I didn't really think it was a lie, because of the rest of them that came true. So you know, listening to her in interviews saying that she was getting her health together and this, that, and the other. So I was like, okay, you know. But I knew that I got the signal, and I knew that that wasn't a lie. And so I just followed it and just waited. Around 17 and 18, you begin to see the reports that her health was, you know, there was something wrong with her health and this and that, you know, so stuff. Then I remember the year that she passed, and I was in an apartment, and I was, you know, just singing some, you know, just singing songs, and this little small voice said, "Queen of Soul," and I was like, "Queen of Soul." I mean, I don't know who that is. I mean, I know who they call Queen of Soul, and the only one I know that they call Queen of Soul is Aretha, because I, you know, even though I sing and stuff like that, I really didn't consider myself a Queen of Soul or anything like that. So the only person I knew that they called Queen of Soul was Aretha, and I had I just found that. And then, like, a couple months down the road, there it was, and said that everything was Franklin dies. And I knew that the signals, once I got the signals, I just knew. Whether it was my Whitney, Nancy Wilson, Natalie Cole, Jimmy Scott, Aretha, Nancy Wilson. I just knew. Once I got all of theirs, Whitney was the first. So after hers, then I knew that the sickness was real, and so I just knew about that. I was sad to see them go. You know, I still continue to sing their songs, you know, because I love to sing, and they was the ones that was the platform to me, singing, you know, because I used them as stepping stones to help me to get better in my singing. I want to talk about Anthony Cosby, Natalie Cole's son. And Kobe Bryant. I got a dream about Anthony. I remember I had a dream, and I came to the intersection of the park, and I seen someone in the park sitting on the bench, and I leaned in and I was like, why is Anthony, and here's in my mind in the dream, why is Anthony sitting in the park, and what is that thing on his face like that? And the reason I say that is this. When I look at the person that was in the park, you kind of like can tell people body frames. Like when you look at certain people, you can say, you know, even if the face is covered, you can tell that, oh, that's that person. Even if the face is covered, you can tell by their body build. And so when I seen him sitting in the park, I was like, why is Anthony sitting in the park, and what is that thing on his face? And the reason I say that was that when I seen Anthony in the park, he had his face was covered, like the only way I can describe it is like, you know, like the cloud in the sky, the white cloud in the sky, the white cloud in the sky. It was like the white cloud was set on his face, like his face was covered like that. And I said, well, you know, what is that thing on his face, you know? And I didn't really know what to make of it. And this was in 94. And I was like, I don't, what? You know, I don't understand. I didn't understand. So I wakes up, and about 2 weeks later, my sister called me and told me that Anthony had passed away. And Anthony was the guy in a dream that had the thing on his face, that he looked like, that had the thing on his face. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God. And I told her about that dream. The other thing was that when I had looked to see, to think that that was Anthony, if it wasn't Anthony, I thought it was another person. It could have been another person, right? But the other person was my nephew. And I had told the person that called me and told me that Anthony had passed. I said, you know, the other person, if that was, because I had told her about that dream, Anthony in the park, and he had this thing on his face and stuff like that. And I told her, I said, if it wasn't Anthony, then it probably would have been another person, and the other person was her son, right? And I shouldn't have never told her that, but I did. And I think that was the wrong thing to do in a sense. But here's where I'm getting at with that is because I had told her that the other person, I think, if it wasn't going to be Anthony, even though it was Anthony when she told me, but I told her that if it wasn't going to be Anthony, it was going to be her son, right? Like that. And so years later, about and that was an accident when I told her that. And that was an accident. Right? And so, because that was an accident, he dies in the accident. About 15 years later. He dies in an accident. And here is where I think the premonition came in. Because again, I think it just was an accident because I mentioned him as the other person that I thought, if it wasn't Anthony in the part, it was her son. Because I mentioned that, I think that was an accident. And about 15 years later, he dies in an accident. And I couldn't believe it. And the reason I bring that up is because the same thing happened with Kobe Bryant. I got a dream that say African American male who's famous for sexual assault. And because Kobe Bryant was the first one that came up with sexual assault, so I picked him. And that was an accident as well. And 17 years later, Kobe Bryant dies in an accident. Because I made accidents with the both of my nephew and Kobe, they dies in accidents as well. And I wonder if it was premonition. Because I don't think that I set out to just kill them. but I think was the accident, even though they were accidents, when I chose my nephew, even though my sister told me it was Anthony, when it came to my nephew, I just brought it up to say if the other person wasn't Anthony, then it was her son. And that was an accident. And he ends up dying in an accident. And I was like, did I kill him, or was it a premonition? Because I don't think I set out to just kill people. I don't think I will want to do that. But that's what happened. And with Kobe Bryant, because an African-American male who's famous for sexual assault, because I had that dream, Bill Cosby, when I had the dream, the first person that came up was Kobe for sexual assault, who's famous. So I picked Kobe at that point, and that was an accident. Because Bill Cosby was right down the road. And Kobe only fitted part of the dream. Bill Cosby fitted the whole dream. And because I chose Kobe, and that was an accident, Kobe Bryant dies in an accident, just like my nephew. Just like my nephew. Because it was an accident with him, and it was an accident with Kobe. They both died in accidents. And I don't think that I set out to kill them, but I wonder if it was premonition. I wonder if it was premonition, because if the dreams are coming true and the signals are coming true, then so are the premonitions. So the premonitions, and I think it was just premonition. Did I know that Kobe and my nephew was going to die in accidents? No. But that's what happened. I didn't know, consciously, I did not know that they were going to die in accidents, but that's what happened. And I was wondering, was it premonition? Because, again, when I dreamed the African-American male who's famous for sexual assault, that happened to be Bill Cosby. That dream, even though it was not Kobe didn't fit the whole dream, it still showed up in Bill Cosby's real life. See, my dreams come true too. And because Cosby is an African-American male who's famous for sexual assault. I mean, even Kobe Bryant was up, but Kobe Bryant didn't fit the whole dream. Bill Cosby did. And so Bill Cosby was the actual individual. And Bill Cosby was one of my favorite comedians. Like that. And see, my dreams, my signals, and premonitions come true. Let me talk about Natalie Cole's son. I remember having this dream, and I didn't. I just remember that the person in the dream had his face covered like Anthony dream, but he had on his suit, It had all these different type colors on it. And I was like, who is that? I don't know who that could be. Like that. So so I went on the internet and I started looking at guys, you know, who are famous or whatever, trying to see who fit that suit and this, that, and the other, because I know some celebrities wear crazy kind of suits and stuff, you know, and stuff like that. So I went looking, but I didn't find anyone that I didn't want to name anyone. I just was looking for the suit, whatever. And I didn't really find anyone. And so I put it up on the shelf. Like I didn't, you know, think about it or whatever for a while. And that was in 2015. I got that dream. The following year, I get the JonBenet dream. That it said that they found JonBenet's murderer. Just like that. That's what the dream said. And I'm like, I don't know who that is, you know. And so I was like, and something told me to go back and look at the other dream, the Natalie Cole Son dream, because again I put it up on the shelf because again his face is covered. I don't know who it is, and this, that, and the other. So I went back and I looked at, and I noticed that that both dreams were similar. They looked similar. The dreams were, if I look at the Cosby and the Anthony dream, it was distant. But when I looked at the Natalie Cole Son dream and the JonBenet dream, it was nearer. Like, it was close up. And I noticed that Anthony dream, Cosby dream came true. And so I'm looking at Natalie Cole's son. I don't know who he is yet because his face is covered. And I was like, I wonder, do I know that person? Do I know that person too? Because his face is covered, I still don't know who it is. But in 2017, I found out that it's him. Now, Natalie Cole's son, Natalie is one of my favorite singers, and God used her son. So I find out that it's him. I goes up on the internet. Now before I goes up on the internet, I'm looking for any place, any person that I see on the internet. I always scan TVs or internet whenever I see them because I'm still trying to figure out who this person is in this dream. So when I goes up on the internet and I see is that Natalie Cole's son dies, like that, and I knew immediately that it was him, and it was based on the setting of the dream, because it was the same way. And so was the Cosby dream. Let me talk about Cosby. I'll talk about Cosby in a minute. But it was the same setting. It was the same setting, based on the picture of Natalie Cole's son on the internet. what looked just like the picture in the dream. The only difference was his face was covered in the dream. But the dream and the picture that I saw on the internet was the same. The only difference was his face was covered. And I knew that was Natalie Cole's son, who the dream was about. But before I see that it's Natalie Cole's son, before I sees that, I wanted to dig a little deeper. And I was like, I wonder who this person is. So what I did was, although I knew that the thing on his face that told me that he was going to die, because Anthony in the other dream had the same thing on his face, and I knew that whoever the person, Natalie Cole's son, whoever that was going to be, was going to pass. I already knew that. But I wanted to play a little, I wanted to see if I could find out who it is before I found out through the public who it is. So I said, I wonder if that person is dead already. Like that. And he was, so I was like, I want to pick a person. So I pick a dead person. I picked a dead person because I'm still trying to see whether that person is going to die or is he dead already. Based on the Anthony dream, I already knew that the thing on his face that meant death. But I was trying to see, is this person dead already or is he going to die? So I picked this dead person, and I played the dead person birthday, and I hit the number. And I'm like, yeah. You know, I was shocked that I had. And so I was like, well, I know that person is dead. So if hitting the number, what does that mean? Like that. Hitting the number. Now I already know that person is dead already. But what does it mean, hitting the number? What does that mean? I mean, I don't think it was just about getting some money. It was more than that. What happened was, I was like, shit, you know. So I was like, you know what? Just wait and see. Just wait and see who the person is with the thing on his face. Natalie Cole's son. Before I found out it's him, I was like, just wait and see who it's going to be first, and then you can really look at why you hit the number on that and this, that, and the other. I find something. because when Natalie Cole's son dies, I see the picture there, and it looks just like the dream. The only difference was he had the thing on his face in the dream, but it was Natalie Cole's son. And so I asked, so I'm looking to see like how he died, because I wanted to see if it was the same way the dead man died. The one that I played the lottery, I wanted to see, was it the same way the dead man died. When so when I seen that it was Natalie Cole's son that died, I went to see like how he died, and they said that one of his friends went in the house, and I mean he didn't see him for a couple of days or whatever, and he had went in the house and found him dead in the house. And you know, he didn't do drugs or anything like that, and when the police arrived, this, that, and the other, and all sorts of stuff, and they said that they think that he had died of a heart attack. And the dead person's birthday that I played, he died of a heart attack. And here I'm saying, like, did I kill them, or was it premonition? Was it premonition? I mean, because I don't think I set out to kill anyone, but it was premonition. I think it was premonition all the way. You know, and you know, because you know, again, his public records were not released to the public, but when they found him dead in the house, the police said they think he had died of a heart attack. And I seen Natalie's sisters, because I know Natalie's sisters based on her friends, Natalie being one of my favorite singers. I knew her sisters, and they made a statement to the public that he did not do drugs or anything like that, and so that he you know, most likely died of a heart attack. And again, because I played the dead man birthday, and the dead man died of a heart attack as well. And Natalie Cole's died, the son dies of a heart attack too. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, I just know I just didn't kill him, you know, but I wonder if it's premonition all the way. It was premonition based on Anthony. Now, Anthony, I had no idea with him, because I just had a dream of him. And so I didn't know, I didn't try to seek information or anything like that. I just got a phone call and said Anthony died. So I think it's premonition all the way. It's just premonition, you know, and stuff. I don't know how I get it like that, but I do. It's based on you know, they are connected to me in some certain type of ways. Anthony, if you look at Anthony, he's a relative husband. If you look at Natalie Cole's son, he's my favorite one of my favorite singers' son. You know, so it's you know, but I don't think I set out to kill them. I mean, it was premonition all the way, and it's just you know, subconsciously. I mean, consciously, I don't know it, but it turns out that it's always true, and I have no idea, man. It seems like everything that turns out it's always be true. Like getting to Bill Cosby. I remember having the African American male who's famous for sexual assault. And because it wasn't Kobe only fitted part of that dream, but it was actually Bill Cosby fit the whole dream. But because he was on the floor model. In the dream, Cosby was on the floor model, but it was turned to the side where I couldn't see him. All I heard was African American male who's famous for sexual assault. And if you see the floor model, that meant older individual. You know, because floor models are older model. If you look at floor models, they are older model. And so Cosby, older model. And so Kobe did not fit the whole dream. So Bill Cosby fitted the whole dream, right? And the other reason why I knew it was actually Bill Cosby, not just the older floor model, and Cosby is the older male, was because I had seen him on Oprah. And he was on the floor model. Oprah had did a show about the Cosby Show, and Bill Cosby did not show up at her show, but he was on the floor model from via satellite, and that's how I know it was Bill Cosby, who the African American male who's famous for sexual assault because of the floor model in the dream, and he shows up on Oprah on the floor model, and not only that, he turns up to be up for sexual assault as well. So I knew it was Bill Cosby. And again, I get these dreams and these signals and these premonitions, and they turn all out to be true. And I don't know. It comes out that way, man. And and conscious. What I find out is that the subconscious is the one that produces the dream and the signals, and and all of that, and it shows it to me where I could see it, and it comes true in people's real lives, and to me that is where the premonitions, they all comes through the premonitions. They are premonitions, whether it's a signal, whether it's a dream, whether it's a quick thought, all of that it shows up as premonitions. Let me see. And the other thing, James Ingram, the one that sang Find 100 Ways, that him. I remember I was thinking about this number. I was thinking about this number all day. and I had and I don't know why I was thinking about it. I mean, I knew why I was thinking about it, and I, you know, and I just thought it was just about me, but it wasn't. But it wasn't. I went up on the internet and I saw James Ingram die of the same number. He died the same number. The number was 66. And James Ingram died at the age of 66. Now, how did I know that? That's why I say it's premonitions. It's the premonitions. You know, it's the premonitions. Let me see who else. Let me just say this. I remember having a dream. See, I get these dreams and signals, and I remember having a dream. And the person in the dream said, "Go play 615." I was saying 615. And I was like, let me see. So I woke up and I went to my lottery list. And I see that 615 is not on the list. And I was like, I want to play 615. But the other thing I thought about was this. 615, the number 615. I didn't see that on my list of lotteries. So I said, you know what else is 615? June 15. Like that. And I said, I'm going to go and play on June 15th. I don't know why I said that, but I did. And guess what? I waited to June 15th, and I had some numbers that I wanted to play. And when I went to play, I hit for $100. Now, is that a premonition or what? And I had no idea. I don't know why I say I don't want to play the number 615. I'd rather play the date 615, which is June 15th. I'd rather do that. And it seemed like every time I would, it doesn't matter what the wrong or the right is, it's always true. Even if I made the accidental identity with Kobe, it was still true. He still was in an accident. Even if I said, well, I don't want to play the number 615, I'll play the date 615. And I hit. Like that. Even if I played the dead man's birthday. And the dead man died of a heart attack. And Natty Cole's son dies of a heart attack as well. It didn't matter, it always came true. Whatever I set out to do, or whatever, it was always true. It didn't matter, whether it was accidental or not, or whatever. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. It always came true. And I was like, you know, I don't know, but it seemed like it always came true. It didn't matter whether it was accidental or not. I want to talk about another friend of mine. I had I remember last year in 2021, around my birthday. I did not want to. I usually do a fast on Fridays, and my birthday fell on a Friday, and I did not want to eat cake on the fast day. And so what I did was, in the previous days, I bought a cake and ate cake little by little every day, and then I fasted on Friday. When I fasted on Friday, that day I ate a couple Slim Jims, Slim Jims, just to get a little protein in there. I just did that. I ate 2 Slim Jims. And that morning, well, not that morning, but in the afternoon, I just ate 2 Slim Jims. And so I had, in the previous day, I noticed the next morning or whatever, I had forgot some eggs. And I went to the supermarket, I went to the Family Dollar, and I seen someone in the market, in Family Dollar, and said that someone that I knew had died. And I was like, oh, jeez. And I asked her, well, what did she die of? And she said, she died of a stroke or whatever. And so what I did was, I said, oh, I was shocked, because I would see her every now and then or whatever, so I had, so I went to the funeral. And I heard her story. You know how some people get up and talk about the person who died or whatever. And I found out that during her teenage years that she robbed the Slim Jim factory. And the reason I brought that up was that I ate the Slim Jims on my birthday, and she died on my birthday. And when I heard her story that she had robbed the Slim Jim factory, I was, because she died on my birthday, and I heard that she had robbed the Slim Jim factory, and here I ate 2 Slim Jims on my birthday, and she died on my birthday. And when I heard her story, she robbed the Slim Jim factory. I was like, oh my God. Now, is that a coincidence? I'm like, man, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, man. And, because I ate those 2 Slim Jims on my birthday, she dies on my birthday. And when I heard her story, she robbed the Slim Jim factory. I was like, oh my goodness. I couldn't believe it, man. But that's the way it went, man. And I was surprised as hell. Let me, and here's another one. Paul Mooney, the comedian. I liked it, Paul Mooney, because Paul Mooney, he was always, said what he wanted to say, and just that and the other, and all this and stuff. But I remember the morning I got up. Well, let me go back with Delphine for a minute. I remember seeing something before I had went to get the eggs from the dollar store. I had seen something that told me that someone had passed. And I got something else too that told me someone was going to pass. And these was going to be two females. These was going to be two females. And one was Delphine. The one, the Slim Jim family. Her. The other female was when I saw what I saw that told me that it was going to be two females. I seen that there was a big one and there was a very short one, and I was like, I was like, I don't know, but what I found out, it was that Delphine was a very big person. So I knew the big thing showed me it was her. It was Delphine. Well, the other person was a very short person. A short, very short person. And I remember seeing, like, I had just seen the other person. What I found out was it was Betty White. And the reason I'm going to talk about that is that I remember right before she died, right before she died, man. I had seen something on the internet, and it told me that that she was getting ready to celebrate her 100th birthday, and they had put it on People magazine and stuff like that, and that, and I always liked Betty White anyway because of her personality and this, that, and the other, and all the stuff that she did, the work and the stuff like that, and I remember always seeing her on the internet, and a lot of people liked her. And I remember just seeing that, and then something told me again right before, the day before she passed, I seen something, man, just told me that someone just died. And when I went on the internet or whatever, it was her. And I knew again about that short person, because Betty White was very short. She was a short person and stuff like that. And she died of a stroke as well, just like Delphine. The two persons, Delphine was the big one, and Betty White was a small person, and both of them died of strokes. Like that. So, like that. And then it was Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney, again, I remember the night before I had ate me some crackers. I ate a lot of crackers the night before. I remember getting up that morning and something told me that something just happened. And someone passed. And, and I just knew it. And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know who this is. And I remember, and I went on the internet, and there it was. Paul Mooney passed away. Because of Paul Mooney, you know, he always talk about the race problem and this, that, and the other, and he would, you know, sometimes call whites crackers and this, that, and the other. And the reason I bring that up because I had ate a lot of crackers the night before, and when the next morning, Paul Mooney dies. Just like that. Because I remember him, making a phrase about whites as crackers and this, that, and the other. And the crackers thing, because I ate a lot of crackers. It's not that I talked about white people or anything like that. It's just that I ate a bunch of crackers the night before. And then the next morning, Paul Mooney dies. And he was always known to talk about the race problem, and I did hear him mention that whites were crackers, this, that, and all this stuff. But because I ate a lot of crackers the night before, Paul Mooney dies within that night. But I didn't find out till the next morning. Now, are you going to say I killed him because I ate crackers? See, that's what I'm saying. It's premonition, man. Premonition. You know? Premonition. And, because at first I thought, did I kill them? And I killed them. What I found out is that it's not that. It's premonition. All the way, whether it's dream, signals, quick thoughts. It could be a dream, a signal, a quick thought, a feeling. It could be a feeling too. I remember one day I had came outside of the building and I had saw these three women, and it was and I came out the building, and then I turned around and looked back at them, and something, and it was like that, and like that, and there was that feeling there that told me that something was going to happen, and with them, and as I look at it right now, it was three of them. Two passed on. Two of the three women passed on. It's just something that I think I can just pick up on stuff like that. I don't know. It's just something, but the only thing I can think of is premonition. I don't know why it comes through the death thing. I don't know. But it don't necessarily have to come through the death thing. It could come through just knowing, like hitting a number, or your favorite comedian being up for sexual assault, you can get a dream of it don't necessarily have to mean death. It can be anything, and I can pick up on it, and I can just get it. You know, I can pick up right up on it, and it's not just with that. It's with it don't necessarily have to be heartbeats and batteries. It can be still things. You know, like stuff that sits still. You can read into that stuff too. It's a reading in that, and still things. The stuff that sits still, that are not humans, that are not run by batteries. So you can read. I get readings every day. Sometimes I don't want to read every day. I get readings every day. Sometimes I don't want to read, you know, but I get it every day. And you know, and it tells me a lot. And you know, sometimes I don't want to read, but since I was born with, but I think I was born with it. I remember when I was really younger, I used to get a lot of dreams, man. And sometimes I wake up fearful, but I used to get a lot of dreams, and I didn't understand that. And I think that, and I didn't discuss them either. I just kept them to myself, and you know, for a long time, I kept them to myself. But I noticed, because I didn't understand them, I probably would have understood more way back then. And I think, you know, because I did some drug usage, and whenever I did that, it would take away the readings and signals and dreams and stuff like that. But once I quit drugs altogether, it all came back. The signals, the dreams, everything. I mean, it came back in full force. It's like it never left. You know, like that. And I can just read now. And you know, I can read different things, and you know, sometimes I do want to explore. I think because I went and explored certain things, what I found out is that they were true too. If I go a little deeper, what I find out when I do that, and that stuff is true too. Sometimes I don't want to go deeper. Like the John Bonet case, I could probably go deeper with that and do that, but I don't. I think I just want to wait on God to do that. But if I really want to probably do that, I probably could do that, because I did have the dream about that. The dream said they found John Bonet's murderer. And I remember having, years ago, I remember thinking about the John Bonet case. And I said to myself, what if I had my own thought who that person could be, and what I find out was that I wonder if they're gonna find out who the person that did that, and the dream came back with that they're gonna find that person, like that. That they found John Bonet's her murderer, that they're gonna find her murderer. They're gonna find her murderer. And I remember thinking that if the person who I think is the one that did it, how is they going to find out that that person is the one that did it? And the dream came back when they found John Renee's murderer, meaning that they're going to find her murderer. And who I think that person is, I'm not going to say. I could, but I'm not going to. I think that I want God to do that. Because, again, I remember thinking years ago, if this is the person, God, how is they going to find out that that is the person that did that? And a dream came back years later and said they found Dominic's murderer, meaning that they're going to find her murderer. Just like that. They're going to find Dominic's murderer. They're going to find that person. If Natalie Cole's son came true, Anthony came true, Cosby came true, then John Benet's murderer, they're going to find that person too. And Colby, and my nephew, and all of that, and Anthony, all of that, if all of them came true, Whitney, Aretha Franklin, Nancy Wilson, Jimmy Scott, Tina Marie, if all of that came true, then John Benet's perpetrator, they're going to find that person too. They're going to find that person too. You know? So, you know, I'm just, you know, but I don't want to say who it is. I'm ready for God to do that. You know, because I think it's God timing. God is going to pick the closest person to that person to get to the murderer. The closest person to the murderer. God is going to use the closest person to the murderer to get him. And that's how God going to do it. It doesn't matter where it's at or whatever. He's going to use the closest person. So, you know, if I'm having these dreams and premonitions and signals and all of that, all of them came true. It's not a figment of my imagination. It's not coming from some story, some lie or anything like that. It all came true. And I get signals about people all the time, you know, and dreams and stuff like that. And still some I haven't even said anything about. But I'm not going to say anything about them just yet. But you know, I have to wait. I'll have to wait. I'm waiting for certain things to come to pass first before I say something about these other things. But so you know, this is just you know, a little bit of what I experienced already with these other people and dreams and signals and premonitions and this, that, and the other. It's not a figment of my imagination. All of this stuff is true. I don't know. I think I was born with it. I don't think it was something that happened years later, or I think it was at the time I was a child, but I just didn't understand it. And I didn't tell anyone about them either. I thought they would go away, but it never did. So, and I think I understand a little bit more because I'm older. You know, being a child, you don't understand, but I do now. I understand a lot more, and so, you know, but I wonder if people, because I remember seeing something one day. I was like, what is this, all this stuff, you know? And I remember seeing something on the internet that said, you know, start writing stuff down. What I did was, when I first started getting the signals in the dream, well, the signals, the dreams I was always getting, the signals and quick thoughts and premonitions. I started writing them down to see if they actually came true, and they did, and all of them. And stuff. So it wasn't something that was not true. It was all true. So if it's anything that I said that can help anyone to help them understand